Only complaining about something that you could actually change. It's exhausting, it's tiring, it's unproductive. Let's discuss this a little further. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because recently I've come across a couple of situations where I'm hearing a lot of complaining and a lot of moaning about situations that those people could actually change if they really set their mind to it. And it really just makes me feel tired and exhausted from hearing that conversation. There's nothing about a conversation hearing somebody moan or complain that lifts you in any way. It leaves you feeling exhausted and tired, and you just don't want to really engage in that person again, especially if you know that the next time you speak with them, they're going to be moaning about the same thing again. And all the things that you discussed previously that could be possible solutions to do with those things, they decided that actually they don't want to do those things because they can't be bothered or whatever the situation, and now they're moaning again. It's so tiring. And when I went through those situations, I thought to myself, why do I feel such a resistance to that? Such a resistance to that. And then I thought, it's because I feel the same way about this subject that we talk about on these platforms. The protection of children, the safety of children, the safety of the world that they're growing up in, the sexual abuse, the neglect, all of these things, all these negative things that are happening towards children. I try my hardest to not complain about those things. I try my hardest with my work for it not to just be a complaint. Just complaining that this is the situation and this is the situation and this is the situation. I want things to be productive because otherwise we will be complaining about this for our whole lives and then nothing would have got done. So that's where I feel like this has come from. Those couple of situations in my personal life made me realise that just in general, I feel this way towards this whole thing. So I started looking at the work that I produce. I went on my Instagram. I started scrolling through just to make sure that I haven't been complaining. Because if I have been complaining, I need to check myself because I don't want to get into that. Yeah, I don't want to get into that. I'm not sure complaining actually moves you forward. Maybe a little bit of complaining identifies the issue. What is complaining? What is the definition of complaining? Let me just search that. 1 second. Definition of complaining. Right. The expression of dissatisfaction or annoyance about something. So yeah, all right. Let's say that actually complaining is identifying the problem, is opening the problem, is bringing the problem to the table for discussion. But it just needs to be once. It just needs to be once. Then we find possible solutions and then we execute them. Then we don't need to come back to the complaining again. Or if we do come back to the complaining, we are coming to the next, we're on the next level we're on the next stage of the issue. We're not complaining at the same stage. Does that make sense? I'm not sure I explained that very well. I want to talk about solutions and I want to talk about how we can carry those solutions out. Let's go through some examples, right? We're always talking about the effect of social media on the younger generations, especially if you're from a generation like myself that we didn't grow up with social media in our back pockets. We were out on bikes, playing in the woods and meeting up with mates outside. That's the generation that I came from. Now we got social media, kids are on it all the time. We got a problem with that, right? We got a problem with the security of it. We got a big problem with the safety of it. So are we just going to sit there with friends and family and other people and on podcasts and in interviews just complaining about how bad social media is? Because guaranteed, this time next year, we're still moaning about how bad social media is. Or are we going to complain about it once, identify that that's an issue, and then work out the best ways to reduce the risk of being on social media, being exposed to the dangers of social media? So we start talking about education. We start talking about conversations in the home. And we start talking about how we can create content that's going to get in front of these youngsters to make them think twice or make them more aware of what they're doing. There's a solution. It makes me feel like we're moving somewhere. When we're just complaining about it, it makes me feel like we're just going round in circles. We're just going round in circles. And the more we complain about it, the more angry we get that it's still going on, even though we haven't done anything about it. The illegal activity that's going on online, the frustration is there because we know that it's solvable. The illegal images, the illegal videos, the dark web, all of those things, we know it's all solvable. But we just need to take action. How are we going to get to solving those problems? Now, I'm under no illusion that possibly it will, in our lifetime, we won't solve that problem. Possibly there will always be a percentage of people creating that type of illegal content and posting it online. Maybe there'll always be that percentage, but we got to strive for the full solution. We got to aim for the full solution, because then at least if we hit somewhere around it, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. We achieved. We made progress. We got one step closer to eradicating that horrific situation that we have on our hands. But we know also that it's not just about going for the internet, attacking the internet. We need to be more clever than that. We need to educate parents. We need to educate children. We need to get these subjects on TV. We need to get these subjects into schools, into lessons, not once a year, not once a month. It needs to be a weekly education, a continuous education. We need to get celebrities and people who the young people admire talking about this. You know, recently, Billie Eilish, I don't know if I said her second name correctly, massive musician that I believe a lot of the younger generations look up to, has just come out and spoken about porn. That she was watching porn at 11 years old and she believes it had a detrimental effect on her psyche. Now, of course, I am following people who talk about these kind of things. So on my social media feed, it's been all about this. Fantastic. Imagine how many teenage girls and boys are watching everything Billie Eilish does and will take on her advice. It's great. It's progress. It's massive progress. That's huge. That's a huge article. I'd love to see it on TV. I don't know whether it's been on TV because I'm not a big TV watcher. I have a string of videos coming out in February time. That's next month. And they're all about addressing these different issues, talking about possible solutions. If you ever feel like I'm starting to complain about things, please do comment and let me know, because that's just not the area that I want to go down. It really, really hit me over the last couple of weeks about this. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because it just really, really hit me. Complaining about something that you could actually change if you really put your mind to it. But most of the time, people are just like, I can't be bothered. Or, I'll do it later. Or, I don't have time. It's always those kind of answers. But then don't complain about it. That's what I'm saying. Then don't complain about it. If you can't be bothered to take the solution, right? Or the solution seems like just a bit too much work, or you haven't got time even though you watch TV every evening, don't complain about it. Because it's tiring. We're not here for complaining. We're here for solutions. And that's not just... Let me say this. The reason why I'm confident in saying that is because all the children that are going through terrible situations right now, on any level, all the children who feel unsafe right now, all the children who are relying on us adults to sort these situations out, are praying that we stop complaining and that we work towards solutions. I'm trying my best to communicate that everybody has a part to play in this. Everybody has a part to play. There is, on this subject, the main subject that I'm talking about on my social media pages, child sexual abuse and its prevention. Every single person who is living on this planet today, every single adult that is alive and breathing has a part to play in this. If they are parents who have children themselves, they have a part to play in the education and the conversations they're having with their children. If they are an adult who has children in their family, they have a responsibility to also open the conversation, not only with the children in their family, but with the adults in their family. Anybody who's making TV programs or writing reports in the media, professionals who work in these fields of prevention, thank you, by the way, for doing that amazing job. The police service, the care system, we all have a part to play in this. The internet providers, the social media platforms, everybody has a... And could you imagine if every single person played their part? So what we're trying to do here is create clever content that for anybody that watches it, that feels like, that has never really thought of the fact that they have a part to play. Maybe if they watch a video or read one of the posts, they'll be like, they'll realise that actually their position in this whole thing is more powerful than they think. They can actually make a true impact. They can actually make a true impact. That's incredible. That's incredible. All the people that I work with on all the content that I create, let's take the film producers. Let's take the illustrators. Let's take the designers. As far as I know, what I should say is, none of them have disclosed an experience of abuse to me. right? And as far as I know, they are not survivors or survivors of this type of experience. But they're passionate in making change. That's why you can feel the passion in the work that I put out there, in the collaborations that I put out there. And they see that they have a part. They can bring their skills to the table and they see that they have a part to play. We all have a part to play in this. And the more we get together and push this subject out there, get it to as many people as we possibly can, the more that we do that, the more exposure it's going to get, the more it's going to be taken seriously. The more it's going to be taken seriously. Because I feel, I experience myself that it's not taken seriously enough. Why is it not taken seriously enough? Because people have never seen it. People have never seen the real thing. The real thing. Because we're always tiptoeing around it. We're never really talking about it explicitly. And I know we can't, because then it will get no media attention. But we're not even talking about it in a clever way that exposes it, but in a way that's readable, that people will feel engaged in. Let me give you an example of my attempt at that, okay? 1 second. Let me give you an example of my attempt at doing that, right? Because I can't speak about it massively explicitly because I'm worried that actually my posts would get pulled down and my social media accounts would get pulled down. But I'm always trying to push the boundaries and get people to understand the seriousness of this. Okay, I put out a post on my social media. And the caption, not the caption, what I wrote on the image was this. When he taught me how to kiss, I remembered he would get so into it. He would teach me the different ways on how to do it. Sometimes like this, sometimes like that. There was never any aggression. He was soft with me, progressing me stage by stage. He was fully turned on. I could feel his arousal as he leant up to me. Now, that gives people how serious this matter is and how important it is that we actually do something about it, because that passage that I've just read there, which is from my story, is not uncommon. It's just not spoken about. So I tried to write that in a way that you cannot avoid thinking about the trueness of this. So the more we expose it, the more we get it out there in many different ways, the more we're going to have not just discussions about it, but we're just going to have solutions. Because maybe we could spark the interest of a high-profile celebrity or somebody who's got a big following. And then they're going to share the work. And then we're slowly going to drive towards solutions. No more complaining, no more feeling frustrated like nothing's happening. We just start driving solutions. So I wasn't sure whether this was worth a video, this whole thing that I'm just getting off my chest, but I wanted to get it off my chest because it's been a challenging few weeks in my own mind, and this is something I feel strongly about. It's one of the big drivers of every single thing that I'm doing. So these things are always worth a discussion. These things are always worth just talking about, seeing what other people think. It's always nice to see people's comments about what they think about what I've said, or how they feel about the concepts that we talk about in these videos. Always, please do put your opinion in the comment section, because a discussion, this can only ever be a one-way discussion, which is me talking in front of this camera to create a video. There's no interaction here. The interaction is happening in the comment section of these videos. So please, again, please do talk about your opinion there. And I just think we're a community now. We're a community of people trying to navigate our way towards the solutions. Thank you.